Hi, American soccer zombie Tom Franklin here to talk about English football. If this offends you, please click off this video. Do it! This is your moment! Now, are you still here and you want to hear about the latest developments on the potential sale of Reading FC that could possibly save the team, but maybe we shouldn't get our hopes up until the ink is dry on the contract because we have been down this road before, even as recently as a few months ago with the very same group I'm about to talk to in this video? And while you're here, maybe you should like and subscribe to this channel if hearing silly Yanks talking about the beautiful game is something you actually enjoy. Maybe you'll enjoy the fact that I'm actually doing a proper video this time on Reading as opposed to yesterday's improvised video in front of the not Rocky Mountains. And since yesterday's video, there's been another development with the possible sale of Reading FC. You heard about a possible North American consortium that is about to go into exclusivity maybe with Reading FC. Well, we now know who that consortium is, and if you've been following this saga a lot longer than even I have, you'll recognize this name because they almost bought the club a few months ago. Genevra Associates is a hedge fund with bases in the United States and Luxembourg. On their website, they describe themselves as a reformer hedge fund that is powering prosperity in the world of sports and entertainment. But their assets aren't actually listed, and the website, while it is slick and modern, is really giving me Prestige Worldwide vibes.
Prestige Worldwide. Why?
Now, Genevra is not new to the Reading fiasco. They were negotiating with Dai Young in November and appeared to be heading towards the finish line on negotiations, but Dai reportedly changed the terms of the deal, rumored that he just wanted more money, and Genevra backed off at the time. But now the Telegraph is reporting this week that Genevra is back in the race, along with at least one more serious buyer that isn't mentioned in their article. In fact, they suggested there might be 2 additional bids on top of Genevra's. The feeling is Dai Young could select a preferred bidder in the coming days. The next step would be for Reading to sign a letter of intent with a potential buyer, which could come by the end of March. Former executive of Reading, Nigel Howell, has been helping with the sale, and he tells the Telegraph that he hopes to settle a possible takeover by May. It's not mentioned how much Reading and all of its assets, including Bearwood Park, could go for. In yesterday's video, I mentioned the possible German buyer that was ready to pay about £28 million that spoke out to Sky Sports about his experience in January. The details on the possible sale of Reading this time around could come out with that letter of intent later this month, which will detail the price, terms, and timeline of a possible sale along with an exclusivity clause. Now, who even are Genevra Associates? Now, I haven't heard of them, and you might not have heard of them until they tried to buy Reading in November. Well, we still don't know a ton about them, as I alluded to earlier. We know it's a company that claims to be between 11 and 50 employees and lists Luxembourg as its base on its LinkedIn page. At one point, they were in the hunt for a minority stake at Manchester United, but British businessman Sir Jim Ratcliffe won the race for the Red Devils. Reading fans back in November expressed concern about the Geneva Group, notably pointing out that Bahraini general partner Talal Al Hammad. The Reading Chronicle noted his time as chairman at Wigan Athletic, a club that went through its own financial cataclysm during his time at the helm. Wigan was eventually sold, but fans there have warned Reading fans about him, leading to a less than savory reputation for Al Hammad. Now, it's not known if Al Hammad is directly involved in the possible Reading takeover. However, he did just join Genevra Associates, which is, by the way, a hedge fund, just a few months ago, right before it came out that Genevra was looking at taking over Reading. So that and the limited information about the sale process and about Genevra Associates being a bit of a mystery remain points of bother for Reading fans. And one other point of bother in the more immediate future is the reported £1 million shortfall the club is facing this month. If those liabilities aren't paid, Reading is facing a threat of 2 points being deducted, slipping them closer to the relegation zone. 16 points have been deducted from Reading in 3 seasons because of issues like this. However, the Telegraph does report those liabilities are expected to be covered by sponsorship funds. Reading sits 7 points above the drop zone with 7 games left to play. It's not safety, but it's not the edge of a cliff either, though it could be if more points get taken away. I really do appreciate the response from Reading supporters who have reached out and expressed their gratitude for me even doing this video. Last week's video got a lot more response than I could have ever anticipated, and it tells me that I struck a nerve with this situation going on with Reading FC and Dai Young and the future of this historic football club. It's why I do this video, to raise awareness about the situation, and if there is even just a little nudge that I can provide in the right direction so that situations like this don't happen again in English football, then to me that is a win. I know the people at Still Before We Die are doing a lot more on the ground than I could ever dream to do over here across the pond, but just I wanted to get the word out about this, and a lot of Americans watched my video last week. It's got well over 4,000 views, which I know isn't a big thing, but for a small channel that just started about 4 months ago, I'll take it. And that means people have seen and heard the Reading story that may not have seen it before. And as someone that has had his own team ripped away from my hands by the greedy, soulless, vaguely resembling a human being Stan Kroenke here in St. Louis, I truly do empathize with Reading FC fans here. But what do you think of Geneva Associates? Now, surely they can't be worse than Dai Young, right? It appears they actually do have money this time. But hedge funds, and secretive hedge funds at that, aren't exactly in this for the love of the game. Will having new owners that actually do have piles of money to sit on appease Reading fans, or will it cause more heartburn in a fan base that is already suffering from a severe case of acid reflux? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe if you do enjoy a silly yank talking about the Reading saga, and tell your friends as well. Do know that while I do like to, make light of things now and then, I do truly wish the best for you if you're in Berkshire, if you're a Reading fan right now, no matter where you are. While this has been fascinating as an American to cover, it must be nerve-wracking being there right now and watching this historic club that you've loved all your life wither away like this. And I'm hoping, along with you guys, that one of these buyers does turn out to be real, that you don't end up like Barry, and that you can be saved like a Wigan or Bolton or any other club that has gone through this situation. Even I'm wearing a Derby kit, partly for that reason as well. They had to be saved as well. And yeah, I just hope for the best for you guys. But this is your soccer zombie, Tom Franklin, reminding you that it's often darkest before the dawn.